Previously on Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice.
Okay, so the first reception was held at 7 p.m. on the day the incident. Then a pterodactyl came out, dude! No! God! No, not the pterodactyl. He comes later. Oh, yeah, that's right. But it definitely happens, alright? That was real. That was a real-life mother-flipping pterodactyl, bro!
And now, back to channeling people.
Hello!
This is NicoB. Back with some more Phoenix Wright's Spirit of Justice. We last left off, we completed the last bit of the investigation, and now we're moving on to what I will likely be the final day of the Turnabout Time Traveler. And I will say, I actually thought it got actually a bit better in that last investigation when we stopped focusing on both Larry and also the time travel factor. Like, I feel like those two things are the things that are bringing this case down for me and making it, like, just not as good. Like, when we actually started focusing on some of these other characters, I don't know, it felt better. I don't know if it was just me, but to me, this time travel mechanic thing, I understand they were trying to go for, like a how done it, right? I mean, like, time travel clearly isn't real, so how did he really do it or something? But I didn't find it all that interesting to begin with, and the answer was similarly not that interesting, you know? Oh, they just held 2 receptions. That's it. That's the basic gist of it. And everyone was hush-hush about it. And just the idea that we're even entertaining the thought of time travel, it was just fucking stupid, in my opinion. But now we're starting to focus on away from that, and now look at the characters themselves, like Sorin and Pierce a bit more, and Sorin's dead sister. I feel like it's starting to get more interesting. So I'm hoping that at least this last bit will hopefully redeem it a bit more. I don't know if this will be the last episode or the second to last episode. I guess it depends how long this next part goes for, but I'll probably just play straight through to the end. But it does seem to me, I'm almost positive that Pierce is both the killer and also the fiance. I think he is. When I sort of stopped to think about it, before I was like, well, I could just talk to somebody and they cooperate, right? But we're already seeing how much influence Pierce has, right, over what happens in the household. So if he just asked them not to tell us that he was the fiance, they probably wouldn't say anything, right? So, I mean, he's got the watch that belonged to her, so it shows that that's gonna be the main connection, right? That's how we're gonna point it out that he is connected to Sorin's sister, right? Of course, I'd love to be proven wrong. I guess we'll fucking find out. All right, Turnabout Trial Day 2. Let's get it started. September 23rd, 8:50 a.m. District Court, Federal Alarm number 3!
So the one thing we found out yesterday is that Sorin was there at the crime scene. I only hope I can get some testimony from him. That'll get to the heart of the matter.
Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Ellen. Look, I'm afraid you might not like the result of today's trial, but try to keep your shit together. Nevertheless.
Don't tell me you're still thinking of going that route! Sorin is innocent! He can't be found guilty! Take me instead! Bang, bang, bang!
Ellen, stop making me laugh. God! Ellen, please, try it over yourself. Ellen, let it.
I'm good. I believe in Sorin with all my heart. So how dare you doubt him? Regardless of which of them is found guilty today, it's gonna be devastating for Ellen, isn't it?
We'll just have to do everything we can. It's the best we can do, you know. There's also, you know, the option C where it's not either of them.
The trial's about to begin, Mr. Wright. Get your sexy ass in here.
Okay, bailiff, come up. All right, let's go, Maya.
Yeah.
Let's get her done. This is it. It's the final moment of all of Phoenix Wright. For the time being. Not counting the spinoff.
September 23rd, 9 a.m. District Court, quarter number 6.
Oh, God, this might be the last we see of me for a long motherfucking time. Not counting Council of Voices, which is also totally canon. How the hell, how you guys doing today? Well, this is it, huh? The moment of fucking truth. Never thought the last time we see my glorious bill was in a fucking DLC case. Better fill my tummy full of turkey while I still can. Anyway, court's back in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. Defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Let's see now. Where were we? What are we doing again?
In yesterday's session, we found out about the Sprocket family's conspiracy to cover up the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury with a second reception. Oh, right. You guys also told me. So I'd asked last episode, I was like, what was the point of him actually telling us that? Why was it so, Claude, ingenious to a number of you? And you guys explain, it's because we were going to figure it out anyway, and he basically managed to sort of turn our eyes away from anyone in the Sprocket family back to Ellen again by having him come out and explain, oh, it was Sorin's idea, we were doing it to protect Ellen. So it did actually make it seem more like that she did it than anything else. He also said the fact that he also confessed to it and said it out loud means he probably would have gotten a lesser sentence. I guess I was just thinking, like, I mean, you are taking a bullet in a lot of ways. You're still gonna get punched in some way. And I don't know, it didn't seem to me like we were totally, like, on board with that idea. I thought Phoenix threw it out there, but Edgeworth was like, no, not possible. And I wasn't sure if there was even any way we could totally prove it yet. So it still seems we would have been banging our heads for a long time before ever trying to figure anything out. But so I guess in a way, yeah, I mean, what Pierce did was a calculated move. I don't know. I think I still have a little bit of a hard time buying it, though. I still think we didn't have a whole lot of proof because we didn't have anyone who was willing to testify. I suppose we could say, well, someone would have eventually broken and said, okay, we had 2 receptions. But at the time, it was just literally Phoenix's theory and no hard evidence explaining it. So that's what I mean, you know? But I appreciate you guys explaining it to me. Taking advantage of our collective shock, the defense, as usual, made a nonsensical claim. Namely, if there was a third person present who struck the victim.
Objection! Shut up! I love you. Hey, don't try to make it sound like I made it all up. The defendant herself made a statement about the existence of a third person, and further investigation has only proven her statement to be true. Then I presume the defense intends to focus on proving the identity of this third person. Is that all right with you, Mr. Edgeworth? Indeed, Your Honor. In fact, I predicted the defense will, most likely, attempt to name Mr. Sorin Sprocket as the true culprit. How did you?
Oh, I'm always 30 steps ahead of you, Wright. The driver during the accident that killed Mr. Sprocket's sister was the victim. Therefore, Mr. Sprocket had a motive to murder Mr. Gloomsbury. That's what you plan to assert, is it not, Mr. Wright?
Am I that transparent?
Come now, Mr. Wright. Do you really think the police wouldn't uncover this information?
Congrats on getting it in one, Mr. Edgeworth.
But it's probably me, right? Hold it! You're wrong. Sorin didn't do it. He's innocent.
Miss Wyatt, please!
He's innocent! I tell you!
God, you really love that dorky little dude, don't you? What is this, Mr. Wright? Thought your claim about the existence of a third person came from the defendant.
It did. This is just a minor hiccup.
Put your pen and ladle away, you crazy woman. Did you not discuss your strategy for today with the defendant, Mr. Wright?
I tried to. Starting off on the wrong foot again is seriously cutting into my lifespan.
It would appear the defense is in disarray. Therefore, the best way to clear things up is to ask Mr. Sprocket himself what happened. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Sorin Sprocket to the stand.
What?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Mr. Sprocket to the witness stand. Oh, sweet. He's cute as a button. You come here, you little weirdo. Okay, stop throwing your little paper planes at me. You look a lot like Musharige, only 30 times hotter and more steampunk.
Witness, please say your name and occupation.
Here it comes. Hey, it's pretty impressive he managed just to fold that paper airplane with one hand. Woo! Ah!
Why is it always hurt every time it hits us? Like right on this paper airplane. Let's see. Sorin Sprocket, Managing Director of Sorin Sprocket Aviation. How'd I do, Kameda?
You did great, Hutchie. You read that real good.
Oh, good. Do I get my juice box?
Of course.
Yay! Oh, God, I love my juice box. All right. Mr. Sprocket, please give your answers in the words, not paper airplanes.
It does seem to me like, well, I don't know. I can't tell if it's all just mental, like after the accident, he became mentally unstable from just the shock of it all. Or if he actually was, like, actually had severe brain damage to him as well, you know? Because he definitely does seem unstable. Now then, Mr. Sprocket, please tell that doubting lawyer there what really happened at the time of the crime.
Don't feel like it. Well, Mr. Sprocket. Gotta show him something he really likes. Hey, wake the fuck up! Mr. Sprocket!
Alright.
Why doesn't anyone ever listen to me?
You want me to talk about what happened when the crime occurred? In other words, after the first wedding reception. When Ellen and I were in the reception hall, right?
Not even the power of the court can stop him from marching to the beat of his own drum. Okie dokie, what Sorin remembers.
I was stabbed by Dumas in the reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was Ellen and Dumas on the Vista deck. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. But when I got there, Dumas was already. I don't want to believe it, but it must have been Ellen. Nothing else makes sense.
Oh, okay. Wait just a minute here. What? Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that, but don't you love your wife? Actually think Miss White killed the victim.
That's right. Dumas was killed by Ellen.
It's unbelievable. What the hell? Is Pierce twisting your arm or something? How can you suspect your bride, the woman you love? Objection! Objection! Oh, sucks to be you, bitch. The truth can be cruel. Miss White, you must be very upset. Is there anything you wish to say? Oh.
No. I can't believe this. Sorin?
Oh, there's a new expression. That's not a good one, though. Empty-eyed, Ellen.
I thought that at least you would believe in me.
Ah, God, I feel so good being a dick again. The best way to now show your love for your groom is to admit your guilt and try to atone.
Sorin.
Hold it! Don't you demon say anything, Ellen! Mr. Edgeworth, I haven't even cross-examined the witness yet! Quit picking on the clearly distraught!
Yeah, that's not so cool, Mr. Edgeworth!
Shut up! I'm back to the first game, Evil Edgeworth again. Core's where we seek the truth. And the truth is unyielding, even to the truly pitiful. Mr. Edgeworth, I find it distasteful to make a lady cry. Well, she hasn't cried yet. She's just standing there looking dead inside. That's totally different. It too, Your Honor! It too! Yes, me, I never liked you to begin with, you fucking douche.
So what are you going to do, Nick?
The third person Ellen saw on the Vista deck was Sorin. Then we have to prove Sorin was there at the time of the murder. Don't see any obvious inconsistencies in his testimony. We have to push forward. Which I mean, we gotta press forward. All right, bring it on, Edgeworth. No, you bring it on, right? Oh, God.
I was stabbed by Dumas in the reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor.
Hold it. Hold it. Please tell me everything you can about when you got stabbed.
After the reception, Ellen and I were enjoying a moment alone in the reception hall. Then Dumas appeared and stabbed me. He grabbed Ellen and the timekeeper and left the reception hall.
Did Mr. Gloomsbury say anything at the time?
I don't remember. After I was stabbed, I was immobilized by the pain.
I see.
The next thing I saw was Ellen Dumas on the Vista deck.
The Vista deck, huh? But it was nighttime then. Did you really see them in the darkness?
The moon was out, so I could see them clearly. From the looks of it, Dumas was trying to push Ellen and the timekeeper off the side.
So you saw the defendant about to be thrown off the airship, you say?
That's right.
In such a desperate situation, it would only be natural for her to fight for her life. And the murder weapon was right there within her grasp. This isn't going well at all. Gotta do something fast. But keep pressing.
I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck.
I understand that your bride was in danger, but were you really able to move with a stab wound to the gut?
I was desperately trying to push the pain out of my mind.
I see. So adrenaline kicked in and gave you strength. Is that right? Don't see much of anything in his statement I can refute.
That's right. I almost passed out several times as I made my way to the Vista deck. But when I got there, Dumas was already...
Already what? Already cooking a chimichanga? Are you absolutely sure, Mr. Sprocket? And by the time you got to the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed.
Yes.
But the Vista deck is just on the other side of the glass windows in the reception hall. Shouldn't you have been able to get there right away?
Objection!
Foolish, Wright! Mr. Wright, have you investigated nothing? The only way to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and take the lift. That is a really weirdly laid out airship, seriously. Why the fuck would you not have put a door on the fucking area that's looking out onto the Vista deck? That is just that is all kinds of confusing. No matter how much one hurries, it would take at least 10 minutes.
Well, that's unhelpful. But Sorin had to have gotten there before the murder, or my claim will stand. Do you have ideas for me, Maya?
It's definitely easier to prove that someone did go to the hold than not. I mean, can't leave anything if you don't go someplace, right?
Can't leave anything. Wait a demon second! I think Maya's onto something here. You left your giblets behind. The lack of a certain something actually proves that Sorin didn't go to the hold.
What's the matter? Are you stumped already?
Blah. No, far from stumped, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh. I know for a fact that Mr. Sprocket didn't go to the hold.
Huh! You and your paper-thin bluffs. Mr. Sprocket's bloodstain on the lift proves he went through the hold.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where Finks is going with this.
So what possible proof could you have that he did not, in fact, go through there?
You want proof? You got it! You could do this, Phoenix. There's gotta be proof that Sorin didn't go through the hold.
Oh. The, key card thing, right?
Yeah, right here.
Well, Mr. Wright.
This proves that Mr. Sprocket didn't go through the hold, yeah! His name isn't on here. Boom! As anyone can see from the hold entry record, there's absolutely no mention of Sorin Sprocket entering the hold. The defense asserts that Mr. Sprocket used a different route to get to the Vista deck.
You can assert all you want, Mr. Wright, but can you actually prove another route exists? Did you go out the door and, like, crawl around the side?
I'd be kind of insane because, of that stab wound he has. Can I prove the existence of another route to the Vista deck, you ask? Of course I can! I can prove it. Even if it's just a bluff, I have to present something. Anything that could prove that the existence of a faster route to the Vista deck.
Very well then, Mr. Wright.
Show us how
Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck, then.
Yeah. Mr. Sprocket made for the Vista deck through here. Yeah, he did. He went this door over here.
Take that!
Boom! To save his bride from danger, Mr. Sprocket. Oh my god! Open the escape hatch and made his way along the side of the wall to the Vista deck! Oh my god! You fucking psycho! Damn, that is ballsy as shit!
And he just been fucking stabbed. Are you kidding me? Damn!
Damn! You got some serious guts, Sorin. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Do.
He does not seem phased.
Woo! That'll give me some serious butt tingles. That would certainly be a much faster route to the Vista deck.
Objection!
Objection!
Huh. I'm disappointed, Mr. Wright. Is that really the best you can muster?
I hate mustard. Do you know that, Edgeworth?
The escape hatch is not meant to be used to get from the reception hall to the Vista deck. One slip, and that's all it would take for Mr. Sprocket to plunge to his demon death. I have to agree. Vince's claim is really stretching it.
Hold it! Understand how it sounds, Your Honor. But at this point, it's too early to definitively say that he didn't go that way.
So that's where you're going with it, I take it? That's really it?
Of course, Your Honor. This is real life, Mr. Wright, not some cinematic drivel or comic book, alright? Does he look like Tom Cruise to you? Do you have some sort of logical explanation to share that would convince us of your claim?
I do.
Are you sure, Nick?
Kinda. Actually, I have nothing. So I'll just have to wing it somehow, just like I always do.
What do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way along the outside?
My theory that he was able to get along the outside wall despite the danger is based on power of authority, the power of love, the power of money. These are all kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But I would say the power of love, baby. Yeah! Oh my god. Save the bride he loves. The groom risked his life and rushed to her side, despite his fucking intestines hanging out of his chest. Mr. Sprocket was able to make it to the Vista deck despite the danger. Because of the power of love.
The power of love?
Stop!
In the name of love.
My god, it's so beautiful! That love is a source of strength that can help one overcome any obstacle. My friends are my power! I think I can relate thanks to my long, happy marriage with Kameda.
Wow, he actually seems to be buying it. Yes! It's working!
Oh, you come on! The power of love, you say? That kind of logical argument is hardly viable in a court of law. One does not need love to live. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? No, fuck you very much, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid not, Mr. Edgeworth. You should never underestimate the power of love! You'll understand one day when you get married, which I won't. I will die alone forever! Forever! Good lord, you have to be so fucking gung-ho about it. This isn't freaking middle school. Jesus. Girls aren't gross anymore, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. But I'm not into girls. Oh, that's right, I forgot. You love Phoenix.
Yes, that's right. We need to get married, Edgeworth.
Then we can bicker all day about our fucking cases of law.
Just like all married couples do.
Exactly what is so wrong with wishing to remain unwed?
Way to set him off, Your Honor.
Never mind all this unscientific nonsense. Are you aware, Mr. Wright, that at the time of the crime... Oh! There was a huge mother-flipping propeller turning at full speed between the hatch and the Vista deck. Well, it seemed to get chopped to freaking bits. Even if a person were to go outside through the hatch. Oh no, it just gets blown off. Be blown away in an instant.
Oh, yeah.
Or chopped to bits.
Oh!
Huh, where's your power of love get you now, Mr. Wright? Where? Tell me! Love isn't great! Stop telling me I'm a sad, pathetic loser! A huge spinning propeller, you say? Oh. In that case, I have to admit it does seem a bit impossible. Mission impossible.
Ah, I should have known. God damn it, Tom Cruise, you fucked me again!
Nick, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. The worst of times when lawyers have to force their biggest...
Shut up, my eye! Don't preach to me about my own fucking creed! God!
Right?
Right! I feel like I just saw Mia looking at me through my eyes. Oh my god, she's Mia, it is you!
Hey, Phoenix, how's it going?
Oh, I missed you and your giant tits. They always help to motivate me.
What's wrong, Nick? Why are you gaping at me like a giant sunfish?
Thank you, Maya. You just told me to remember something really important.
The power of boobies! Yay! There it is. There's that fearless smile I was looking for. Now give us a mind-blowing theory, just like you always do.
Yes. I have to turn my thinking around.
I do feel like, I don't know if anyone else, like, that's another thing that I feel like has been beaten to death a little too much in this series. Because it wasn't just the original trilogy that's done this, it's now the new trilogy, or the new series of games that has done this, turn my thinking around, and it just, I don't know, it's just gotten fucking stale to me by now.
Gotta turn my thinking upside doodly.
It's because it's what we always do. It's one of those things that is so recurring now that it's starting to lose all meaning.
Instead of wondering how Sorin could have moved past that huge propeller, I have to think about what would have made it impossible for him to do so.
Your Honor, Mr. Wright only makes everything in his face when his back is pressed against the wall. Therefore, please do hurry and give your ruling before...
Too late, Edgeworth.
Damn it, he's got an ass pull now.
Mr. Edgeworth, it's still far too early to discuss my theory.
What are you talking about? The airship's large spinning propellers have already shredded it to pieces.
But if we think a little more outside the box, I'm sure we can find a way that we could have made it.
Stop trying to stall, Mr. Wright, and show us how it really could have been remotely possible, if at all. I must agree with Mr. Edgeworth.
Very well, Your Honor. There must have been a way. Some way the Sorin could have moved along the wall in spite of the propeller.
Now then, Mr. Wright, what specifically would have made it possible?
This is how it would have been possible for Mr. Sprocket to get to the Vista deck.
He got to the deck some other way. The airship wasn't flying. The propellers were broken. The airship wasn't flying. It must have been parked somewhere.
Would allow Mr. Sprocket to go along the side of the wall in spite of the propellers. It's the location of the flying chapel at the time of the crime.
The location of the flying chapel? Well, wasn't it flying high in the sky?
Blah, blah, blah. No, Your Honor. I'm afraid it wasn't.
What? There wasn't!
It was through the door to launch pad 1. At the time of the murder, the airship wasn't flying through the sky, but more to the ground. And the airship wasn't flying. And that means the propellers weren't churning.
Oh, there we go.
It's got a lot of lead in that thing. In which case, Mr. Sprocket could have gotten the Vista deck along the outside wall. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Oh! I was like, what was that? What was that reaction? Oh, he flipped his pencil the wrong way, and then when he went to press to click it, he stabbed his thumb into the lead. Now it's all swollen. He's like, ow! I don't remember.
Ow! He stabbed himself with his pencil. That's gonna leave a mark. Ow!
Even if the propellers were churning, it would have been far too risky to go that way.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you're forgetting about the power of love.
Yes, the amazing power of love! Not this again, damn it! I don't understand such meaningless feelings. Very well, for the sake of argument, let's assume this so-called power of love made it possible for Mr. Sprocket to move along the outside of the wall of the ship. Can you prove that the airship was tied to the ground as you claim, Mr. Wright?
Well, I don't have any evidence that proves where the airship was at the time. Oh wait, yes I do. That fucking pterodactyl, guys. Here we go.
You can prove it, can't you?
Maya, can you think of anything we can use to prove it?
Can't say I can. Oh wait! Pterodactyl! Did somebody see something outside a window at the time of the crime? Here we go!
Yeah, dude, this fucking me and Larry come save the day again with my freaking pterodactyl powers, dude.
Think I remember someone saying as much.
Do I have a piece of evidence that shows what was outside of the airship?
Well, what are you waiting for?
Piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the crime. Here we go, guys. This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the murder.
Oh, God. What kind of lousy drawing is that? This disgusts me. You suck, Larry.
Dude, I've gotten better. Come on, fuck you.
It's a drawing made by Larry Butts. Larry Butthole.
Huh. And what can you prove with that poor attempt at artistry?
Larry made this drawing before he switched the lanterns. So it must have been right around when the murder was being committed.
Ah!
And if I could direct the court's attention here.
It's a pterodactyl! Oh, I knew it! I knew Clavier Dactyl existed. It was all real. Does that mean the airship went back in time to the Cretaceous period? My God, it all makes so much sense now. Let's go back to talking about that stupid shit again.
Objection!
Objection! Oh my God, Your Honor. We've already proven that time travel is nothing more than a gimmick, did we not? Don't make me repeat this shit.
We did. I have no intention of bringing up that stupid shit again. But this drawing shows us an important piece of information. It shows us that the airship was actually moored on the ground.
And what makes you so sure?
That's easy. All you have to do is consider who made this drawing.
Speed it!
Larry.
That's right. It was Mr. Butts. We both know what he's like. He must have seen something else and mistaken it for a pterodactyl.
I can't argue with you there.
Yep, this has literally happened every time he's ever been here. Or been an artist, too. Hey, wait, just a doggone second here! What kind of moron you gotta say before it?
What the hell are you still doing here, Larry?
I saw it with my own eyes! It was a fucking pterodactyl flew by the window, I tell you! They started just mauling the crew! And the fucking giblets just flying everywhere! I have sharp eyes of an artist! Do you believe it?
No.
Nick!
Nope.
Some friends you guys are! What about the judge? You believe me, right, Your Honor? I'm sure you do. All the time and we spent together of me being up here as a witness.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you need to get the fuck out of my courtroom. You need to leave this courtroom, bitch. Bail if you would, please.
Come on, buddy, let's go.
No, not you again! God, leave me alone!
Larry, stop being difficult, you piece of shit, motherfucker!
Oh, God, he's got me in a sleeper hold! Oh, God!
Shh. Go to sleep, Larry. Go to sleep. Yeah, there we... there we go.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my god, that was so satisfying. Finally, peace and quiet.
All right, I'm gonna go drag his ass through the parking lot. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
Why does anyone believe me? Don't take it personally, Larry. Actually, wait. Do take it personally. I know you're just being, well, you.
Now then, so you're saying that what Mr. Butts really saw bears some relation to what was outside the airship at the time of the murder?
Yes, Your Honor. At least I think it does. Well, this pterodactyl really will prove the airship was anchored to the mooring dock. It better anyway. If it doesn't, my whole argument's bust. I'm so fucked.
If you're that confident about it, then please go ahead and tell us what it really was.
Yes, Your Honor. Think Phoenix, what could that pterodactyl have actually been? There's the pterodactyl. Please take a good look at the sign.
The sign? My god! Appears to have been broken and then repaired. But what does the sign have to do with the pterodactyl?
Please focus on this part of the sign.
The part that broke off got reattached. What about it?
What about if we turn it like this? Ah! What are the odds of it breaking like that?
Oh, that shape! It's the pterodactyl in the drawing! My god! So beautiful!
What Mr. Butts actually saw was this chunk as it was being blown through the air by wind.
Oh, ah! Does Sorin have like a jetpack on his back? It's gonna blast off.
The day of the murder, there were some heavy winds in the area of the mooring dock. It's hard to imagine that this sign would make it as high as that an airship would fly. That means the flying chapel must have been anchored at the mooring dock that night. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Objection!
Objection!
That's more than enough of this power of love nonsense, you pop culture junkie! You dirty hobo!
I'm not a hobo anymore, Edgeworth.
Present all the proof you want, but your argument is based far too much in conjecture. Why don't we return to reality now?
What do you mean, too much conjecture?
Even if the airship wasn't flying, that alone doesn't prove the wind is went along the wall. True, even now it's no more than a possibility. Well, I suppose we could check if his blood was there, right? I mean, he had a massive injury.
Then how do you propose Mr. Sprocket to the vested deck, Mr. Edgeworth?
I noticed something as I went over the evidence. Please take a look at this whole entry record.
What about it? I don't see Mr. Sprocket listed on here anywhere.
Don't you remember, in yesterday's session, we had a very similar kind of argument?
Did we?
Honestly, Mr. Wright, are you going to senile already? Don't make me show you 30 flashbacks. We're talking about Larry Butts using the defendant's keycard to enter the hold.
Oh, we did talk about that, didn't we?
In other words, even if a person's name isn't on the entry record, it's still possible for that person to have entered by using someone else's card. Mr. Sprocket, you entered the hole with Mr. NicoB, didn't you?
I did.
What? Why didn't you tell us that in the first place?
Pierce is indispensable. I didn't want to mention him unnecessarily and risk having him wrongfully accused. I couldn't do it without him.
Mr. Sprocket, I asked that you testify in greater detail about your movements that night. So, wait. Are we saying then that that whole theory about him going along the side of it was just all totally wrong?
The truth.
The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over.
Oh, this doesn't help me one bit.
Mr. Sprocket, you've concealed information from us time and time again. And I've had it! Who do you think you are, treating this court of laws as with such irreverence? That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you gave just now. But fuck you. Thanks to you, we now know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now there are no more inconsistencies in the witness's testimony.
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. You okay, Nick?
I wouldn't exactly call the situation okay. Somehow I'll have to coax the information we need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. I don't know, maybe he's still I guess he's still lying here then. That's the point. He did actually go around the outside, but this is just a lie.
To say that, maybe to say that, yeah, because that way he's saying he escorted Pierce, but really Pierce is actually doing his own thing. So he's trying to protect Pierce here.
The truth.
Alright. The truth is I went to the Vista deck with Pierce.
You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. NicoB to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide?
I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all their questions. That's all. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him.
I see. Wow. Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets. Anyway, getting back to your statement. When did you meet up with Mr. NicoB?
We met up on my way to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on another floor. But Pierce heard the commotion and came running to my aid.
Could hear the pandemonium all the way from another floor.
Mr. Wright, would you like the current statement added to the witness's testimony?
Yes, please. Yes, please, Your Honor.
Very well.
Pierce heard the commotion and he came running.
Okay, let me press him here. Did Mr. NicoB come alone?
I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many.
You may say there were others, but seeing how they pulled that second reception off, I can't completely trust anything he has to say either. I see. So you, Mr. NicoB, and a few others head to the Vista deck. Is that right?
That's right.
I thought you were trying to say that how could he possibly have heard it from where he was? But I'm not really sure what to present to actually show that. I'm not sure yet. May have to press other things for more information first. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record.
Your name doesn't appear on the hold entry record because you entered with Mr. NicoB using his key card.
That's right.
So I guess the hold entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought. But now Sorin's saying he was with Pierce and a few others. It's pretty tough to refute that statement.
What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Cat got your tongue? Did you finally realize there's no point in continuing this trial any longer?
Of course not! Put that smile over your dumb face! Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony.
I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic.
Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now?
The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared. But one wrong move would have spelled the end for me there.
Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident.
I'm only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises.
Mr. Wright, would you like Mr. Sprocket's statement about his condition added to his testimony? Oh! Not that it appears especially relevant to me.
Should I have a... Yes! No, it is relevant because he said a knife and not the candle. Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to have it added to his testimony.
I see very well. Oh, okay. This is what we're actually going after.
They kind of tried to fool us there, didn't they? The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. It's interesting. They totally fooled us there. The other one they made it sound like, wait, he managed to hear that from another floor, so I was like, oh, well, that's gotta be it then, right? And I was like, okay, well, then maybe I have to present the layout of the building, but no, that's not it. Or if I say, well, maybe he was in the photo reception, he must have been up there, so he couldn't possibly hear it. I don't know. But no, it's this. The fact that he says a knife wound.
Objection!
Boom! Judge trying to play it off as nothing wrong. Mr. Sprocket, you just said your injury is a knife wound, didn't you? But the weapon you were stabbed with was this candelabra. A fact I know you're aware of. Because you freaked the fuck out.
Very well. This is what I heard directly from Master Sword himself. As you surmised, Master Sword was stabbed by Gloomsbury on the day of the murder. It happened after the first wedding reception. The happy couple was in the reception hall when suddenly Gloomsbury appeared. He attacked Miss Ellen and tried to take her away. Master Sword went to stop him and found himself in a struggle with Gloomsbury. That's when Master Sword was stabbed with the candelabra, he said.
Oh.
Objection!
Objection! It must have been a simple memory slip that made him misspeak. It happens to everyone. It has nothing to do with the case. You must be pretty desperate to point out something so minute. Grr! I have to agree, Mr. Wright. You hardly need to make such a big deal over such a small mistake.
But I contend that it's an important inconsistency. Besides, I couldn't find anything else. It's the only thing I have to go after.
And I say it's not important. Now let's not waste any more time in this matter. I agree. Everybody has a little memory lapse every now and then.
Hold it! No! Fuck you! But Your Honor, please let me explain.
But can you? Can you really explain this court? What makes this slip so important?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. After all, the sword himself who told Pierce that he had been stabbed by a candelabra. It's more than a simple memory slip. There has to be some kind of reason for it.
Well, Mr. Wright, please explain why the witness's slip of the tongue is so important.
Important to focus on here is why the witness would mistake the weapon used to stab him. Think carefully, Phoenix. This could very well change the course of the trial.
I see. So why did the witness make this mistake, Mr. Wright?
Are we suggesting that
Mr. Sprocket identified the wrong weapon used against him because
he misspoke? He's covering for someone. He has no memory of it. I think he is... I think maybe the accent that he had might have given him some kind of brain damage. That's right. That was the other reason why I was like, wondering, because he seems very forgetful, right? Like he kept asking us, like, "Oh, we're the ones representing Ellen." So I think he has no memory of it.
Yeah, that is it. Doesn't remember the incident, let alone the weapon used against him. Not only that, but I believe Mr. Sprocket has some sort of memory disorder. Therefore, the defense contends that Mr. Sprocket's testimony thus far is invalid.
That's why he keeps writing everything down in that book.
Just because you can't find a flaw in his testimony, you want to throw it all out. Your baseless claim is nothing but pure slander of the witness's character. Mr. Edgeworth is correct, Mr. Wright. Can you explain your grounds for making this claim?
Of course, Your Honor. Think of what Sword Hat has said, how he's behaved. That's where I find a clue.
Very well. Let's hear your argument then.
My grounds for claiming that Mr. Sprocket has a memory disorder is
His taciturn personality, his notebook,
his airplane pen. It is. It's totally the fucking pen. No, it's the notebook itself. The notebook he always has with him. I saw daily events and information about the people around him recorded in it.
Like a diary, perhaps?
Blah, blah. No, Your Honor. It's much too detailed to be an ordinary diary. It's more in the order of a database, actually.
A database, you say?
That's right. For some reason, Mr. Sprocket is apparently unable to retain memories. That's why he writes every little detail of his life down in his notebook.
How would you possibly know that for sure? He might just be an extremely compulsive person, like me.
I thought so too, myself, at first. Be honest, we accidentally got a stain on that notebook yesterday.
You mean you got a stand on it?
Shut up, Maya!
Starport, hey! You're the one who tried to grab it out of my goddamn... Never mind whose fault it was. Just get to the fucking point already.
Right, sorry. Mr. Sprocket. The page Miss Faye got a stain on yesterday. That's the page with the details of your stabbing on it, isn't it? Oh.
No, I only write in this notebook because I'm very compulsive. Now drop the subject already.
Sorry, but I'm not convinced. I know some odd facts about your notebook, Mr. Sprocket. On the earlier pages, you used to write down invention ideas. But after a certain date, you start writing down a lot more, and in much more detail.
Yeah, so he did. He must have gotten brain damage from the accident.
Ugh. I believe your memory disorder stems from what happened on that date.
Something so monumental it caused a memory disorder, Mr. Wright.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Blah. Sorry, but I do know what I'm talking about. And this is the proof. This is the thing that caused Mr. Sprocket's memory disorder. It's time. Boom! You were involved in this car accident too, weren't you, Mr. Sprocket? The shock of losing your beloved older sister is what caused you to develop your memory disorder. Oh, okay. It was actually the shock. Okay.
Is this true, Mr. Sprocket? Well, is it? Talk to me!
Mr. Sprocket!
He's gonna fucking freak out, isn't he?
It's true. That accident is sunk to my mind.
What? No!
Ever since that day, every time I go to sleep, I lose my memories. And when I wake up, the most recent thing I can remember is the day I lost my sister. It's as if I'm constantly going back in time.
Oh, hey, that's kind of clever, actually. What? That's truly tragic. Inconsolable time traveler who goes back in time whenever he goes to sleep.
Is that an actual thing? I'm sure it's some kind of variation of something. Besides, time travelers do exist, you know. But you wouldn't understand.
So that's what Sorin meant. He was talking about himself.
The reactions of the people around me each time I awoke made me aware of my condition. That's why I decided to write everything down in my notebook, so I could move forward.
So the only memories you have since that day are the ones written in that notebook.
That's right.
And since the page about your stabbing got stained, you couldn't read from it, could you? Just one more thing I'd like you to clarify for me, Mr. Sprocket. Exactly what are you feelings towards the victim?
Mr. Sprocket's feelings towards Dumas Gloomsbury?
That's right, Your Honor. The witness said that every time he wakes up from sleep, his mind goes back to the day his sister died.
Mr. Wright, you can't mean...
Mr. Sprocket! Your pent-up feelings of anger and resentment towards Mr. Gloomsbury for the accident were renewed each and every time you woke. Were they not? Well, you couldn't take it anymore, so you turned to murder. Is that right? You slayed them all!
What? Mr. Wright, are you saying that the witness murdered Mr. Gloomsbury? For revenge?
For revengeance!
Ah!
Well, Mr. Sprocket.
Hold it! Here comes Pierce to save his little buddy.
Oh, no, it's me. Never mind.
Miss Wyatt!
Your Honor, I did it. I killed Mr. Gloomsbury.
No! God damn it, Ellen! Miss Wyatt, what are you trying to do?
Don't tell me you're thinking of going that route! Sorin is innocent, he can be found guilty! Take me instead!
Man, she's really crazy about that boy.
Ellen, please, try your yourself! I guess you really meant it.
My Sorin didn't do anything wrong. I'm the one who should be convicted.
Are we to understand that you're confessing your guilt?
No, no, no! Now wait just a demon minute here!
Ellen, why would you cover for me? After I testified that I thought you might have killed him.
I'll admit, I couldn't believe my ears at first. But all I want is for you to be happy. Your happiness is my happiness, Sorin.
But without my notebook, I'd even forget those feelings of yours by tomorrow. Knowing that, do you still feel this way?
You've loved me all this time, the same way you did before the accident. That's how I know. That you're the same person I've always loved. No disorder can change that.
Ellen. Your Honor, there are two things I'd like to correct.
2 corrections. What are they?
First of all, I want to withdraw one of my statements. That's right. Dumas was killed by Ellen. Without memories to rely on, I took the police completely at their word.
You can't be serious. Damn it! Damn, you're right!
That means Sorin never really doubted Ellen in the first place, did he, Nick?
Ellen really does love Sorin with all her heart. But in order to save her, I'll still have to go after Sorin. Hope you can forgive me, Ellen!
And what is your other correction, Mr. Sprocket?
The truth is, I never felt anger or resentment towards Dumas about my sister.
What? Why not?
That's because the one who caused the car accident was me.
What?
Oh, huh. Order! Order the car! Please continue, Mr. Sprocket.
I'm the one who killed my sister. To protect my career and my future, my father made Dumas take the blame, in exchange for money and the position of lead servant.
Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a big twist. How about that?
So you see, Dumas held a grudge against me, not the other way around. And he must have attacked Ellen to get his revenge on me.
Are you sure about all this, Mr. Sprocket?
Very sure. It's all been written down in detail in my notebook.
That notebook is important evidence supplying background to this case. I must insist you submit it as evidence. Bye!
The lawyer said I turned to murder, but that's just not true. However, it is true that my older sister and Dumas are both dead because of me and my negligence.
Oh. Just glanced through Mr. Sprocket's notebook. Wasn't able to read the part about when he was stabbed due to the blood stain. Damn it! Damn it, right!
I know, sorry!
What's written here about his sister's car accident is exactly as he stated. Your Honor, as long as it matches what's written in that notebook, can we still take the witness's testimony as valid in spite of his memory disorder? So it's kind of like that movie that with Drew Barrymore. It was like, what, 50 First Dates? Every time she wakes up, it's another fucking day. Start from scratch again. Or Memento. Yes, I believe we can. I understand now the witness's memory is in disarray. But what Mr. Sprocket himself wrote in this notebook is true. Then that means by the time Mr. Sprocket's party reached the scene, the victim had already been killed.
Edgeworth's right. I'm still in the same bind as before. Should I simply really accept the contents of the notebook as a substitute for Sorin's memory?
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Will you accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories?
Will I accept Mr. Sprocket's notebook as an official representation of his memories? No! Wait a minute, Your Honor. The defense requests a chance to examine the notebook to see if it's trustworthy.
Very well, but be quick about it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So how should we examine it?
Should look at it from all the different angles to see if there's anything suspicious. Oh, actually, have it physically here. Okay. It's got a cow on it. There's no point if I don't look at what's inside. I have to open it. With your permission, Sorin. Here I go. Yikes. Oh, it's just a page my gal stink. It's all your dumb fault. But it's just not going to be very helpful at this moment. I'll keep going. It's the last page where there's writing. Something about this page doesn't sit right with me. Better take a closer look. Torn page. Huh? Page's been torn out. It looks like there was something written on it. Looks like this page has been torn out here. Sprocket, do you know what was written on it?
Oh, that? I often tear out a page when I write somebody a note. I probably wrote something down for somebody, tore it out and gave it to them, using my paper airplane powers.
Like this. Watch this, guys.
Whee!
At least you didn't lose that amazing ability of yours. Ah! They always say ow when they get hit by it. Oh yeah.
That solves that,
Objection!
then.
No! Nothing's a coincidence ever, Edgeworth. Wait a minute. Everything means something. Can't ignore the possibility that something important was written on that page.
But now the page's been torn out. How can we determine what was written there?
Well, let's see. To find out what was written in the notebook, we should
Hold up to the light. Heat it with a lighter?
yeah, I'm gonna light this shit on fire, motherfucker.
Use fingerprint powder.
Well, you'll probably be able to see because there'll be an indentation, right, on the page behind it.
So use fingerprint powder. We'll use fingerprint powder on the notebook. We might be able to see what was written.
Fingerprint powder? How will that help us find what was written there, you stupid asshole?
Well, the writing left indentations on the blank page behind it. Fingerprint powder can make those small indentations visible to the naked eye.
Oh, stop. Stop it. Just stop it. Fingerprint powder would only sully the notebook further. Mr. Wright, if you use the powder and still don't find anything, I swear to God, then you must accept the notebook as a representation of the witness's memories.
All right, Your Honor. I understand. I don't find anything. I'm fucked. It's all over anyway. Powder, don't fail me now. I knew there'd be a reason Emma gave this to me. I didn't even do the dumb minigame. Now use fingerprint powder on the blank page. Gotta find out if we can see what was written on the torn page. Oh, I will hear though, won't I? That's right. I gotta be able to do the minigame. All right. Yes. Blah 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 blah. We know. Blah blah blah. More. I need more. Blah 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 blah. Dumas.
Dumas took Ellen to the Vista. And I struck and killed Dumas.
Yeah, that's the important part right there. Boom. It says I struck and killed Dumas. This is huge. I struck and killed Dumas. That was what was written on the torn out page.
Wah, wah, wah! It can't be! No!
Hold it! I don't believe it. That must be some kind of mistake. Sorin would never, could never.
That's why. Ah, she's dead. Fuck.
Bella, please get offended in the infirmary at once. God, they're dropping like flies, aren't they? That's what you all sound like. I'm doing an impression of you. Apparently the defendant got too worked up. She's resting in the infirmary as we speak. Now then, please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor. The notebook's all Mr. Sprocket has to remember things by. With this criminal page torn out, not even Mr. Sprocket himself knew what the truth of what he'd done.
I'm the one who killed Dumas. So it wasn't Ellen. Oh, thank goodness.
Mr. Sprocket, does this mean you were at the crime scene during the murder after all?
I don't know.
I guess I must have been.
But Mr. Sprocket, can we really believe what's written in this notebook?
Nobody touches this notebook but me. And when I sleep, it's under lock and key. I don't remember writing that I killed Dumas, but I guess I must have.
Well, now that we have a confession, that was easy. I'm afraid I must render my verdict. Of all the goddamn doodly things, can I ever win one time against you, Wright? Die!
Yes, Your Honor. Please give your ruling now, while Ellen is asleep. I want the woman I love to be set free as soon as possible.
Sorin really does love Ellen after all, doesn't he?
Yeah. His own little darky way. This is how it ends. This is how it really went down. No! Lies! It was that dumb butler, I knew it. Is there really no way for them both to be happy?
I know we should consider anything written in the notebook to be truth, but still.
I myself wrote the crime in my notebook. No further proof is necessary.
Sorin himself wrote it in the notebook. Are we gonna compare the handwriting to this note here, maybe?
Because we hadn't really come back to this and why it was smeared like that, right?
Wait a minute.
Very well. I will now give my verdict. I'm gonna do it, guys. Nobody bring you. Hold it. Don't do it.
I was about to be found not guilty. Sorin will be convicted of the crime instead. And yet, I'm really ready for the judge to give his ruling. Yes, do it. Kill him. I don't give a shit. Bad ending. No. Of course not. No. Not when there's still one more avenue left to explore.
This court finds the defendant Ellen White. Oh, God damn it, Wright.
No. Your Honor, there's still something that bothers me about that notebook.
Oh, for God's sakes, what? What is it? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? All you have to do is keep quiet and your kind's a free woman.
Blah, blah. I know, but I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye. I'm not quite sure yet, but I think there still might be a way. We'll wait for Ellen and Sorin to be happy. Happily ever after.
What do you mean by more than meets the eye, Mr. Wright?
I believe the question here, Your Honor, should be, why was the incriminating page torn out in the first place?
Why? To destroy the evidence, I would imagine.
But removing it from the notebook is the same as removing it from Mr. Sprocket's memory, which means he wouldn't have been able to trick the police if he came under suspicion. No, if he wanted to cover up his crime, he would have to remember that he had done it.
Just what are you getting at with this line of inquiry, Mr. Wright? Yes, please explain that we can all understand.
Maybe when we gave the notebook to the butler, that's when he wrote it down and ripped it out.
Yes, Your Honor. The page was torn out of the notebook because
He wanted to forget what happened. It was torn out by accident. Somebody else tore it out.
incriminating page was torn out by somebody else.
Blah, blah, blah. Job, everybody! Order! Order! Are you claiming a third person to interfere with the notebook?
It's not all that surprising if you consider what's happened up until now. After both the car accident and the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury, there's always a cover-up not far behind.
Hold it. But I had my notebook with me at all times.
No, you didn't, did you? Because I remember you were in a panic yesterday because you couldn't find it.
That's true.
So who orchestrated this particular cover-up, Mr. Wright?
If we think back over the course of the trial, it's pretty easy to guess. Hell, I even guessed it the moment I fucking met this guy. The one who tried to tamper with Sorin's memories is... Wait, it's fucking Larry, guys!
Oh, God damn it! Oh, Larry, you're finally going to jail! Dude, if we did that, this is how this ended, this would officially be my favorite case of the whole fucking game.
I'd be like, oh my god, don't give a shit about all the other stupid shit. That makes it worth it. That makes it the best case ever. Okay, it's this guy. Finally saying it.
This guy's like 26 years old. Jesus, he looks like he's like at least in his 30s.
The one who tampered with the notebook in order to manipulate Mr. Sprocket's memories. It's time.
Oh, who would have thunk?
It's persnickety.
Persnickety.
Pierce? Pierce tried to tamper with my memories? Pierce was manipulating me.
Case in point, the 2 receptions that were held to cover up the murder. It was Mr. NicoB who directed the guests and orchestrated the entire scheme.
No, it can't be. Which my memories are mine, and which have been rewritten. When did he start rewriting my memories? He wrote this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
Oh, it is a jetpack! Oh, he's flying away! Ah! Just space!
He literally took off!
Ah! Ah! Did you just go through the fucking ceiling?
Reminds me of Apollo, destroying the ceiling of the fucking courthouse.
Look, Nick, he's come back down!
Coming in for a landing.
I gotta get me one of those.
My memories. Ellen.
Dead.
Mr. Sprocket! Bella, please get Mr. Sprocket to the infirmary on the double. God, another one! Another one bites the dust! Oh, one bites the dust!
Infirmary's getting a little full.
Mr. Sprocket has been taken to the infirmary. Anybody else feel like passing out while they're at it? I do. Ah! Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, nobody cares. Just leave him there. We don't have to worry about him running away, so let's resume where we left off.
Your Honor, the defense would like to call Pierce NicoB to the stand.
We already know he carried out the cover-up to protect the company, Mr. Sprocket. What more do you want from him?
Blah, blah. This time it's different. The notebook, or rather Mr. Sprocket's memories, have been tampered with. That means the only person who knows the whole truth is now Mr. NicoB.
Don't tell me. Are you actually trying to drum up a third suspect in order to exonerate the defendant and her groom?
I'm not drumming up anything, nor do I have grounds to accuse him of anything. Yet. All I know is that Mr. NicoB is the only one who knows the truth. And I think he's still hiding something we don't know about yet.
Huh. No grounds yet, is it? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution consent to calling the witness to the stand? It does, Your Honor. However, I would like a little time to talk with the witness before we do. Very well. We'll break for a 20-minute recess. Oh, wait, we're going to continue with this? Oh, we are? Okay. What? Well, that was unexpected, to be honest. All right, I think I go with another one of these. Okay. Well, fuck me. I really thought we were going all the way to the end there. That's actually probably enough for a full episode, so yeah, I'll probably end it there for now then. But I'm guessing the next one's gonna be the last episode. So yeah, it's totally fucking Pierce, alright? It is. That said though, big improvement. Just this last part was already just so much better. That twist with Sorin actually being the one driving the well, we don't know for certain. That might have also been rewritten, right? But why would Pierce rewrite that? Why would he change it that he believes that he was the one at fault? Maybe in case this happens, so then it wouldn't give Pierce a reason to want to kill Dumas Gloomsbury, because it was only Sorin, right? So, well, where's my motive, right? Possibly. But it's definitely getting better. I just want to throw that out there. I feel like that was what held us back. It was just the stupid Larry and stupid time travel shit, and now we're beyond that and just focus on the characters and their stuff, and we're getting to actual, like, you know, regular court story stuff. It's gotten so much better. So, I am happy about that. But anyway, guys, I imagine next time will probably be the last one of this series, but I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite, and subscribe if you're not already. Become a Picky Penguin for the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy!